If you want to help your boy Toadskii become king of the cruise, go over to twitter.com and use the hashtag Toadskii for KOTP on any tweet on the platform to help your boy win this upcoming SNS campaign. And this is only going to be available for a week, so make sure to get your tweets in and you can do it as much as you want. So make sure to spam those tweets with the hashtag. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Alright, what is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And today, we're going to be doing a video talking about my hopes and expectations for 2021 regarding Sugofest exclusives in One Piece Treasure Cruise. Now, I actually was handed this topic a couple of days ago on my Discord, and it seemed like a really good idea. So I currently have a list of a lot of different things. I've got a lot of different tabs open that I want to discuss a couple of things, because some things that we saw last year potentially could come back this time around in 2021, but maybe with some slight changes. It's going to be super interesting to see how it's going to be implemented. I'm super excited to see what kind of characters are going to be releasing in 2021, what their ability is going to be. Are there going to be any new interesting mechanics? We don't know any of that yet. But anyways, let's get into it, of course. And of course, if there's any expectations that I didn't touch on in this video today, let me know down below in the comments section. I'd be very interested to see what everyone else really hopes to see in 2021. But let's go ahead and get started. First thing is first. Zoro. We need a new Legend Zoro in 2021. Like, that is a given. This has to happen at some point. Just considering the last Legend Zoro to release was Luffy and Zoro, which was New Year's on Japan of 2019 heading into 2020. So we desperately need a brand new Zoro Legend, and it needs to be very good. What I would expect is potentially Zoro being a super type. I think that would make perfect sense, and I would love to see him be a super type. I don't think they would introduce him as a dual unit. If they were going to do him as a dual unit, potentially with Hiyori, maybe. We'll have to wait and see about that. Or a versus unit would be also pretty cool, but I don't know if they'd go into that territory just yet. But Zorojuro, or just a new Zoro in general, whether it be a pre-time skip one, or whether it be, a 3-day, 2-year Zoro, would be pretty interesting as well. But I think Zorojuro would be the best case scenario for introducing a brand new Sugofest exclusive Zoro. Would love for him to be a super type, but I do think that it's quite highly likely at this point that Zorojuro is probably going to be coming in 2021 at some point, right? So I've got a couple of things, right? I've got like stuff that I think is going to happen, and then there's like, there is one thing specifically that we know is coming, and I think it's next. Yes, we know this is coming. So this was the Versus poll that happened, when is it, November 21st, so not really that long ago, and there were a bunch of different characters that people could vote for, and unfortunately the character that I think didn't deserve it the most kind of won it, but I mean, they could do a really good job with this, as a shout out to a new follower there. But, I think that the other characters on this list kind of deserved it a bit more, but this character that won it is still kind of crazy, though. Whitebeard versus Shanks. And it does say on this tweet, which was tweeted in the 26th of November, I would like to implement in 2021. So this character is coming in 2021. It's just a matter of when, and we don't know the abilities, but of course it is a versus character, so they're going to have the new versus mechanic, which is going to be quite good, because the versus mechanic in theory can be quite busted. So that is coming, right? So I did actually make this when the poll went live, so these are the characters that we can expect. Obviously, Whitebeard and Shanks are going to be coming in 2021, but what we've seen in previous iterations of Legend selections is that the characters that also are on the Legend selection that don't get picked still become characters in the future. So we could still see a versus unit of Fujitora and Sabo that was in Dressrosa. I think that would be an awesome choice too. However, I think for Fujitora and Sabo, that was the one I wanted least to happen. And then you've also got Kuzan and Doflamingo, which I think would be absolutely badass. I could just see straight away the unevolved artwork of, Dofi kneeling down on top of Smoker, and you got Kuzan behind him, dude. It would look so badass. And then you've also got the Rayleigh versus Kizaru. I think this one should have won. I would have loved to have seen a Rayleigh versus Kizaru unit, but I digress. I think it would be a really cool idea if any of these units became characters in the future, and I think it's quite a high possibility that that is the case. So all I gotta say is I wouldn't be surprised if any of these characters also show up alongside Whitebeard and Shanks somewhere this year, right? I think Whitebeard and Shanks will be the first of these characters to drop, but at some point these other ones will be coming out. I almost guarantee that. So that's awesome, right? And then moving on, we also had a couple of other Legend polls during the year. So we had the Legend poll here of Legend Sugar was the one that actually won this one, which I'm still kind of salty about, because Vinsmoke Reiju was the second choice, and she was winning the poll by a very significant margin, and then in the final like 12 hours of the poll, somehow Sugar won it. So a lot of people say that it was botted or something like that. I mean, I think that's a really high possibility. But I think that the other selections here could definitely be choices in the future, and the same goes for this secondary poll where Smoker was the winner here. But for the other characters that were selectable, we had these ones right here. These were all the selectable characters, and unfortunately my face cam is actually blocking some of them, so we'll just scroll out a little bit. So you can see here that Bonnie, Reiju, Ivankov, and Sugar, those were the 4 that you could choose from the first selection, and then it was Moria, Caesar, Kuma, and Smoker. Now, I think any of these could definitely be coming in 2021. Unfortunately, none of these actually arrived during 2020 because this poll, when was this poll? February 17th. So that was nearly a whole year ago, right? Like 10, 11 months ago. And from that point onwards, they still didn't release any of these characters as SugoFest exclusives. So I would not be surprised if at least 1 to 2 of these characters become SugoFest exclusives in 2021. Now, the one that I think is most popular, the most popular one that I think is highly likely to happen is Reiju. And I think, honestly, Reiju could be potentially coming for Valentine's. That's my theory going on right now, that I have a feeling that Valentine's Day this year in Japan, because they always do like Waifu SugoFest for Valentine's Day, I have a feeling that it's going to be Reiju and Smoothie. That's my theory going on right now. Obviously, I have no evidence to back that up. That's just what I think is a very high possibility, to do Super Type Reiju and Super Type Smoothie together. I think that would be an absolutely fantastic celebration, make it Whole Cake Island related, because they did that kind of last year as well. They had a Whole Cake Island Blitz battle for Valentine's Day and stuff like that, because last year, obviously, they had Nami and Robin and Pudding, and then the year prior to that for Valentine's Day, they had Vivi, Rebecca, and Shiroshi Mansherry. So there is a current theme moving forward there. And then, like, for the other characters here, I mean, for Bonnie and Ivankov, I have no idea where they would even put them. Same with Caesar. Moria could fit a Halloween celebration really well. Unfortunately, they had plenty of opportunity to do that this year, but they went to go with Halloween Law, Mihawk, and Shanks, which is a very, very weird choice. But like, Moria would be a perfect Halloween legend, but they never decided to do it. And then Kuma, for those of you who are longtime fans of the channel, you guys would know Kuma is probably one of the most anticipated SugoFest exclusives that I want to see in the game. And we're nearly 7-year anniversary here on JP, and no Kuma legend. So I don't know whenever that's happening, but that needs to happen at some point, right? But then moving past that, I want to talk about this stuff. So we have Shanks Crew and we have Arlong Crew, which happened, when was this? March 6th was the official release day of the SugoFest. Now, the thing about this one is that this kicked off the One Piece history campaign. So this was a campaign where you basically went through the start of One Piece and you made it all the way through to the anniversary, and the anniversary was more current style event characters. I wouldn't be surprised if this style of event comes back for 2021 with some changes to units. So of course it wouldn't be a Shanks Crew and an Arlong Crew legend for kicking off the One Piece history campaign. I mean, this is like just one that I've just pulled up out of nowhere. What if it's like a Sanji and all the chefs, including, I mean, Chef Zeph's not here, but like Sanji and the chefs from the Baratie would be a pretty interesting one, like more East Blue stuff. They could go with the Kuro Pirates or something like that, or Don Krieg's crew or whatever. But what if they went even further back than that? What if they went like before the current era of pirates, where what if they just released like another Goldie Roger or something like that, or a new legend Shiki would be pretty awesome, or a new legend Whitebeard. All of that is definitely possible, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. But that would be pretty cool if they went and decided to do another One Piece history campaign. Would absolutely love that. And then past that as well, the next SugoFest after that was also, the One Piece history campaign where they went to 3-day 2-year. Because you had the Shanks Crew stuff and the Arlong Crew from like East Blue, and then that was all of East Blue related for like that whole month. Then the month after that was going to be this stuff from 3-day 2-year moving into the New World, and then they went with Mihawk and Perona and then V3 Rayleigh. Now these characters were characters through the time skip, training characters, but I think it would have been awesome if they actually went with a Luffy and Rayleigh character as a dual unit or a versus unit of some kind. Like if they did a dual legend release, like a Mihawk versus Zoro, or a Mihawk and Zoro dual unit, plus a Luffy and Rayleigh, or a Luffy versus Rayleigh unit, that would be so cool. And then do a bunch of like dual units for the batch, like an Usopp and Heracles, or a Chopper and the Bird, or something like that. I don't know, they could do some really crazy stuff with it. I would love to see them do something like that, but again, I don't know how plausible this would be, but I would love to see a 3-day 2-year campaign with, Luffy and Rayleigh, and then Zoro and Mihawk would be so freaking cool. But then moving past that, and then after, you had these two SugoFests leading up to the anniversary, which led us to here. The anniversary, which had Snake Man, Katakuri, Blackbeard, and Sabo. The characters don't have too much correlation. I mean, like, obviously Luffy and Katakuri. I mean, Luffy versus Katakuri would be pretty badass, I'm not going to lie. If that's the anniversary legend, I would be happy with that. I know some people wouldn't like another Katakuri as an anniversary legend, but hey, yo, I'm a Katakuri fanboy, I'd be down for that. But there are a lot of different options that they have. They could go into Wano Kuni stuff for the anniversary because they didn't do it last year. I was kind of expecting them to do that, but they didn't do it. So potentially this year, what if the anniversary is Wano Kuni related? Now, the things I'm about to show are potential spoilers, so I'll leave a timestamp on the screen to where you can skip to, where we stop talking about spoilers. So hopefully you've taken that warning, so we're going to progress into spoiler territory right now. This could potentially be a character that this is my theory for what I think the anniversary could be, right? A Kaido versus Oden, I think would be phenomenal. I would love to see that. At some point in One Piece Treasure Cruise, I want to see a Kaido versus Oden versus mechanic unit. I mean, look, we already have a Kaido versus Big Mom, so I don't know how plausible a Kaido versus Oden unit, and I'm sure at some point we're going to get a Luffy versus Kaido unit at some point. But again, I think just considering the significance of this battle, I think it would be a pretty awesome choice to have that. But then I think that, you know, if they did this as the anniversary legend, they should also have another character that comes alongside that. And I think a lot of people already know what I'm going to talk about here, and that is this one right here. Roger versus Whitebeard. Now we didn't see much of this in the manga, potentially they expand upon it in the anime, but by the time the anniversary comes out, this episode with this stuff probably should have aired at this point. Yeah, 100% it should have aired. So, you know, I think that this as an official anniversary legend, Roger versus Whitebeard, and then Oden versus Kaido would be some of the most epic anniversary stuff I think we would ever see. And could you imagine the animations for these units? Dude, it would be so godly. And I know, you know, we just got, you know, Roger and Oden here on One Piece Treasure Cruise, you know, with the World Cruise campaign. But hey, like a Roger versus Whitebeard and an Oden versus Kaido, you cannot pass that up. And remember, these are not dual units, these are versus units, which are a little bit different. They're not like characters you can switch between them. These are like two separate legends in one character that you can just have at the start of the fight with amazing captain effects. These characters could definitely be worthy as versus units and would definitely be, with the right design, the best units in the game. They could easily do that, right? All of these characters would love to see come in One Piece Treasure Cruise in 2021. But now I kind of want to talk about stuff that like may not happen, but this is stuff that I would really like to see. And it's kind of funny because a lot of the characters on my list of like characters I want to see get legends, a lot of them are just villain characters. I mean, Bartholomew Kuma, I think he definitely deserves a legend. I think a lot of people really deserve, you know, a Sugo Fest exclusive or a new version of a Sugo Fest exclusive. And Kuma doesn't even have a single one yet. He needs one, man. I can't believe he doesn't have one yet. The next one that I have on my list is Kizaru. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people totally agree with this one as well. You know, we've only had the one Kizaru legend, and he's not great. He's good in Pirate Rumble, but he's not great in generic play, but he definitely needs a new update. And, I mean, again, a lot of these characters, as I mentioned, are all just, you know, old school characters that don't have V2s yet. NL's another one of them. He 6+ was quite a revelation when it dropped, but, you know, it didn't take long for him to get outdated very quickly. So a new legend NL would be greatly appreciated. Surprisingly, we don't have another crocodile. Like, we don't actually have a V2 crocodile in the game yet, and for some reason that artwork's not working. We don't have a V2 crocodile in the game yet, so whether it be an Alabasta legend, or another Marineford crocodile, or an Impel Down crocodile, whatever you want to do, I'd be down for all of it. If there's somehow artwork out there for a time skip crocodile as well, that'd be super cool as well. Or even a Stampede crocodile being a legend, I'd be totally down for that as well. Crocodile needs a new unit. Now, this one is again in that same realm as Kuma for me, in terms of characters I really want to see. And that's Lucci. And when I say Lucci, I mean CP0 Lucci. I would love to see a CP0 Legend Lucci come in 2021. I've been calling for this for a long time. I mean, I've been wanting Kuma a lot longer than a CP0 Lucci, but man, CP0 Lucci would go so hard in Treasure Cruise as a Sugo Fest exclusive, whether it be a super type or whatever they want to do. Would absolutely adore that. Now, another character, Doflamingo. I think Doflamingo honestly deserves a brand new Sugo Fest exclusive. Now, his V2 needs a 6+, and I honestly, that could probably come out in 2021 as well. But, hey, yo, Dofi getting a V3, I would be okay with that. And I'm sure a lot of people out there would also be okay with that. Look, if we can get like a V5 or a V6 Sabo, whatever the hell we're up to now, I'm sure we deserve another higher tier Doflamingo. I'm totally down for that. Wait, I don't know what they would do with him. I mean, like, he'd probably be something driven related. I don't really know, but as long as he doesn't get nerfed as hard as his V2 did upon release, I'd be okay with it. Now, another character that potentially might get one, we kind of did talk about him a little bit earlier, but Kaido. Kaido, I definitely think deserves another SugoFest exclusive. I think it would be cool if we had a SugoFest exclusive Kaido in his normal form, and he could have the ability to transform into the dragon. And I know technically this can as well, but this is like, you know, you're in dragon form all the time, and if they remove your beneficial effects, then you go ahead and turn back to normal form. But yeah, I think it'd be cool if, like, you know, you just have like a Captain Action or something like that to transform into the dragon, maybe for a very limited amount of time, just to do some crazy stuff. But I'm not really too sure what they would do with it. But I think a new Legend Kaido would be awesome. And I know there's the versus unit and stuff, but I think just another singular Kaido would be pretty cool as well. I would be totally down with that. And then another one, Cracker. Again, another villain character, but I think Cracker also deserves a V2. They really need to give him the treatment that they gave to, like, Sugar or V3 Boa, where they have the devil fruit of the character is implemented into the game so effectively. And I think that Cracker would be one of those characters that they could really implement with his biscuit fruit to create not toy soldiers, but biscuit soldiers to do his bidding. That would be pretty awesome. And a lot of people were expecting that for this Cracker, and they never did it. They just made him a really powerful subunit. So potentially in the future, they might introduce another Cracker that has that ability, but we'll have to wait and see. And in that same vein as well, Jack would also be a character that I would love to see get a brand new SugoFest exclusive, just for his ability to transform into his mammoth form. So, you know, you'd have him in his base form, and then after a special activation, he transforms into the mammoth, or he's a super type that maybe when he activates a super type, he becomes the mammoth or something like that. I don't know. There's lots of different routes they could go with here, but again, another character that definitely deserves it. And then I've got a couple more, which we did very much talk about a little earlier, but Smoothie. I do think that Smoothie is definitely a good candidate for becoming a SugoFest exclusive this year. And as I said, I'd love to see the Valentine celebration be a Legend Reiju and a Legend Smoothie in a celebration SugoFest together. Both of them being like Quick or Dex super type characters. Would absolutely love that. So yeah, as I said, we got Charlotte Smoothie, and then also, as we talked about a little earlier, Reiju. I think both of those characters deserve SugoFest exclusives. But that's my entire list of characters that I think are going to be getting SugoFest exclusives, or at least I want SugoFest exclusives coming out in the game. So as I said at the start of the video, let me know down below in the comment section which of these characters do you guys want to see, or if there's any that I missed that you guys really want to see. Let me know. And I don't really want to see people say, you know, oh, I want a new Legend Luffy that does this, or I want a new Legend Sanji that does this. I mean, we kind of don't need Legend Sanjis at this point. I mean, I did kind of touch on this a little earlier. I mean, that would be pretty cool, but, you know, realistically, we probably don't need any more Legend Sanjis for a hot minute. So we'll wait and see, but I'm very interested to see what you guys think. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.